will see how to create one IAM root user, then how we can create one IAM user, then how to create groups, then create some policies, and also I will see how we can authenticate our users using MFA authentication, right? So root user, when you create AWS account, you create an AWS account user. So initially, when you tried for a free tier account, so you are using some email, your email and password. That is your root user account. Root account credential are the email addresses and passwords that which you are providing while signing in to your AWS account. So root credential has full unrestricted access. So for you, you have all access, all restricted access to your AWS account, including the account security credential, which includes sensitive information. So for best practice, do not use or share your root account once AWS account is created. So best practice is don't use that root user account. You can just copy your password to a safe place for future use. And you can create the IAM user and provide you a admin privilege and use that IAM user instead of root account. IAM user. What is IAM user? IAM user represent the persons or service who uses the access to your AWS account. So you have created one AWS account, right? And that AWS account have some number, some account number is there that is unique. And you are the root user now. So how you can create one IAM user? So you have to go to IAM service, and from that IAM service, you can create an IAM user for that account. So you can create multiple IAM users, not one. The credential will be maybe the username and password to access the AWS management console. So like suppose you are using your Gmail, and similarly one username to be created to access the console, and one password also use. And for programming access or API access or CLI access, HD access, you need to just create one access key and secret key. So IAM user starts with no permissions. So when your IAM user created starts with no permissions. So initially it have no permissions. So it cannot do anything. Some no read only permission also. And after that you have to authorize to add some permissions, some policies, some permissions so that your IAM user can access AWS services. Each IAM user is associated with one and only one AWS account. So let's show you how to create one IAM user. You can go to the IAM service. IAM. Today my internet is slow. Here in the left side, uh, the button user is create, and to create a user, you just click this button users. Already two users created, so I'm just adding another user. Like
So Nirmal, this is about when we are signing in to the AWS account. That time, the root user.
No, no, no. Yeah, while you are signing in, so you are providing the root user for
Yes.
login as of now. So, but the what is the best practice showing of AWS? Better you have to just store your root user account and those details in a safe place,
Mhm.
and after that you can create one IAM user and give it a admin access, right? So you
Access.
can use that IAM user. In future, if any problem with your IAM user, you can reset everything from your root user.
Root user. Okay.
Yes, root user means your Gmail ID that you're providing at the root user. Yeah, here
Yes.
I'm going to add one user. Maybe I'm adding one user, Sudhir. Right, he can access to my account. And here, this type of access. So whether you are providing programmatic access or only AWS Management Console access. If you want to give the programmatic access, you have to create one access key and secret key. I'm just selecting this, and as well as you can also create this management console. So console password will be auto generated or your custom password. Okay, I can give some custom password, maybe AWS card 1 2 3 4 5 or 4. And so this is my password, right? So next is permission. So initially there is no permission also cannot be given, but if you want you can provide some policy, attach some policy. Okay, here I'm just giving some admin permissions. You can change that. Next tax review. I'm given
I
two
think your
permissions, one
screen is stuck
administrator.
somewhere. I can't see anything.
Automatic access.
It's showing now.
It is scrolling little bit. It's too slow.
Okay. Is it visible now? This I'm on add user page.
Now I can see that permission summary, managed policy administrator access.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me rejoin. Is it visible now?
Yes, I can see. So where are you now? What do you see
Now
on your
this
screen?
permission summary.
Yes, I can see that. Yes.
Yes. So in the permission summary, your permission is like administrator access plus I am user change password. You can also change your password, right? So let's create one user. Now one user has been created. So in the same way you can create user, and here you can access, you download your access key and secret key. You can download. I'll show you. You can download your access key and secret key. This is access key and this is secret key. This access key and secret key you can use to do a programming access to your AWS account. Programming access means you can access using CLI, you can access using your APIs, you can access using your SDKs. So for that you need to provide this access key and secret key. Or you can also send mail. So I can send mail to Sudhir also. My output is not working. So using this, Sudhir can access to my account and he can see whatever resources in my account is, and also he have admin permission, he can create anything in my account, and also he have access to access using CLI or SDK and APIs using this access key and secret key. You can download from here, right? Then close. So once this is downloaded, this access key and secret key downloaded, you can configure using your CLI, right? So let's show you CMD. So before that, you need to install your AWS CLI. So how you can download? Can go to AWS CLI. Here is your command line interface. I have already installed. You can try to install this CLI, AWS CLI, right? Windows, this is Windows 64-bit. I'm cancelling this. I am already having. So you can install this AWS CLI version 2 for Windows. And once this is completed, you can configure using this one command, AWS configure. Right. Using this command, it will ask, right, AWS access key ID. I am having already one access key. You can just copy and paste your access key. Then the secret key. You can copy the second part, secret key. This is like a user ID and password. You can say access key a user, secret key is a password. Right. Then give the region, then none, enter. And using here you can see your everything using some commands. Suppose I want to see my how many S3 buckets are there. I can write AWS S3 LS. Here AWS means I'm using this CLI for AWS. Then service name is S3. Then LS means list. If I write this, I can see 4 buckets in my account for this region. No, for all. Right. So in this way, you can use your access key and secret key and connect using CLI. Then IAM group. What is a IAM group? IAM group is a collection of IAM users. IAM groups can be used to specify permissions for a collection of users sharing the same job functions, making it easier to manage. Suppose in your company, maybe there is some departments like admins, developers, test, and a few more are there. And for specific department, you want for some users, like for your development group, you need 3 to 5 users, and for your testing group, maybe 2 users. So in that way, you can create some groups like my test group, my developer group, and you can assign a same set of permissions to a particular group. A group is a way to attach policies to multiple users at one time. So a group have multiple users, while a user can be belong to multiple groups. A user can be multiple groups. That means if Sudhir is a user for development group, and he can be from also admin group. So 2 groups will be assigned to his name. Renaming a group name or path, IAM handles the renaming with respect to the policies attached to a group. If anything renames means automatically AWS will take care what will be happen to the users. Unique adds users with the same group. However, IAM does not update the policies where the group is mentioned as the resources and must be handled manually. So the policies you have to create manually. I will show you how to create a group and how to create a policy. Deletion of the groups require you to detach users from the managed policies and delete any inline policies before deleting the group. So before deleting the group, you need to detach the policies. So let's see how to create policies. So here, suppose in the Sudhir, I want to remove some policy. Here Sudhir having administrative access. I want to delete this access. Detach. I detach the access. So instead I want to create my another permissions or another policies. Right. So here is the policy. So let's create one policy. Create one policy. Policy means set up permissions, you can say. Service.
Not able to see.
Okay.
So internet.
So my screen stopped, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you, but the screen is not refreshing.
Is it now showing?
Yes.
Okay. So for the Sudhir, I deleted the admin permissions. Instead, I can add other permissions. You can copy from the existing user or you can attach some policy directly. So if I want to attach some S3 related policies, this policy is created by AWS, but you can also create your own policy. Right, I'll show you how to create your own policy. This is created by your AWS managed policy. You can say this is AWS managed policies. Customer managed policy is this one. Anyway, give you add permissions. Then here, Sudhir having only S3 full access, right? So I'll show you how to create your policies. So you can click on these policies. Is it visible?
Yes.
So create policy. There is also some policy generator. You can use that policy generator also. Right, you can add some permissions. Okay, 1 minute. Choose a service, or maybe you can see S3.
My screen got stuck. 1 second. Okay.
And here S3 you can select those policies like list, read, or all S3 actions. All resources. Right. Next tags. I'm just created for S3 only. Next review. I can be S3. Full S3X. I'll show you in the JSON format. right? This is the full access and create policy. Name, oh, sorry. Create policy. This policy has been created, and this is the S3 access. If you see the JSON file, it is like full access. Action S3 star resources star star means full access. Effect is allowed. This is the JSON. This is the JSON format, right? And I can go to users and I can give this to Terraform users. And add permissions. Attach existing, and here I can search S3 S3 customer manage. Yeah, this one I already created now. S3 access review, add permissions. Yeah, now it is added S3 access. So my Terraform user having now initially admin access. Now I have given S3 access. Right. In this way, you can create your policy and you can add the policies to your users. Now let's see how to create a group. Here is the users group. You can create your users group. So as of now, I have already created one admin group and developer group. And now I can create one test group. Group name is test. And group, I can say again, group is a, you can say collection of your IAM users. Right. In this test group, I will add Sudhir and this TF user. So these users will be comes under your test group. And here I will add some permissions like some random permissions. Right. Create a group. Now my test group has been created and it have two permissions, but my developer group have no permissions and my admin group have no permissions. Here I have given two permissions, and under the test there is two users, Sudhir and some TF users. You can also add other users, Terraform users. So once your group is created, you can remove users or you can add users. You can remove policy, you can add policy. Right. So any questions till now?
No.
Okay. So next is we can go to policies. So groups is created and added some users. You can add policies. Policies is basically some permissions, and those permission in the JSON format. You can also see as well as some in UA format. So in the AWS, you can see some policy generator is there. You can also use that to create some policies. IAM roles. An IAM role is similar to an IAM user. In that, it is an AWS identity with permissions policies that determine what the identity can and cannot do the AWS. So see, IAM roles is similar to you can AWS user, and it have some certain permissions, right? You can provide these IAM roles to AWS some services so that they can have that set of permissions. They can access other services. IAM role is not intended to be uniquely associated with a particular user or group or services and is intended to be assumable by anyone who needs it. Right. So any other resources can assume this role. Role does not have any credentials associated with it. So roles don't have any credentials, only the name and set up some permissions. Roles help in access delegation to grant permissions to someone that allows access to resources that you control. So see, basically roles will delegate some permissions to some resources to allow other resources. So roles can help to prevent accidental access to or a modification of a sensitive resources. Modification of a role can be done anytime and the changes are reflected across all the entities associated with the role immediately. So anytime you can change their policies or some permissions. So let's show you role. Here is some role that is created, and the roles are created for resources like your EC2, your ECS, your Firos, your Lambda, some trusted advisor you can given to some federated services also, right? So everything is created here, and mostly we can creating roles for EC2 and Lambda, like in our practice EC2 and Lambda. So if I add one EC2 role, that EC2 instance can access as per the permission provided in the role, right? So let's create one role. So I can create roles to any AWS service or any AWS account or any web identity, right? So maybe here I can add some EC2. Use cases of other AWS service next. And there will be some policies. So policies means okay, and now I can add S3 next, and the role name is my EC2 S3, right? Create role. So this role has been created, and this has been created for my EC2. If I attach this role to my EC2 instance, then my EC2 instance can communicate to S3 bucket. You can see from the API from your EC2 instance, you can connect to your S3 bucket using maybe some SDK or maybe some CLI, right? In the EC2 instance, you can see some role will be there. You can add this role to your EC2 instance. So roles for Amazon EC2. If you run applications on Amazon EC2 instance and those applications need access to AWS resources, you can provide temporary security credential to your instances when you launch them. So these temporary security credentials are available to all applications that run on the instance. So using these roles, your applications inside your Amazon EC2 instance can access those services. As per your role, as per those permissions, they can access other services like your EC2 instance can access to uh, S3 bucket or your DynamoDB table or your SQS like that. So for that you need to provide those permissions in your role.